Oh, I have the guy from the intro, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
The little kid. 30 seconds. Come on, son. Yeah. Tell me when it's 10 seconds, please. Boom.
20,
All right.
10, 10 seconds, my
All
brother.
right. Boom. Hello, everybody. After a long hiatus with the community nights, we're back, and we're back with my probably what's going to end up being my favorite guest on the show so far. The hardest working man in all of Funtico. I have Funtico's very own Pavel, our chief product officer, also known as Dick, also known as the Machine. So before we get into anything else, I'm just gonna briefly let Pavel kind of let you guys know who he is and what he's all about, and then we're gonna get into a deep dive of all of the product related stuff we want to showcase regarding Fantico. So Pavel, please, spotlight is on you. Just give a brief intro, then we can kind of like start chopping it up.
Yeah, buddy, thank you for this firework introduction. I
No
came
worries.
to represent. I just saw that I'm matching the intro of this show, so I try my best.
For sure, for
So
sure.
thank you for the
With the T on,
fireworks.
we see it. We see it.
Yeah, yeah. So about myself, let's not bore people, but I will try to put in 2, 3 minutes the last 15 years of my life somehow,
Fair. All right.
if that would make sense. So back in the days, like half of the lifetime ago, I used to be a professional gamer.
Okay. I didn't know
So
that. All right.
yeah, gaming is embedded in my blood. I played a lot of Dota 1 back in the day and some Dota 2 when it popped.
Okay.
Then life happened because I'm originally from Romania, right? So
Yeah, I know that. All right.
even if I was pushing the esports scene in Romania, it was too early. People were not believing that from gaming you can actually make a living.
Yeah,
So
that was hard in the beginning. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, the rewards were like one keyboard and one joystick when you won a tournament in Romania. So that was nothing. So yeah, I
Okay.
had to face life when I came into the not the crypto space, but I would say the blockchain space very early in 2013 or so, because I was mingling with the guys from the Ethereum Foundation, the Romanian squad.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of was in the loop when Ether was 20 cents and stuff like that. So I grew up with the cycles of the market, the trends of the market, the dumps of the market, the entire let's say momentum of smart contracts and first ICOs and how it happened. But
Yeah,
for
the
me,
entire roller coaster of crypto, right?
yeah, man, it was like
Okay.
crazy when you actually were seeing for the first time ever that with one page and few bullet points, people are raising tens of millions. It
Yeah, I
was
remember
something
the
that
crazy ICO era for
it's
sure.
hard to comprehend.
Yeah.
But yeah, gaming remained in my blood. But I'm also very passionate about product design. I always wanted to build something that millions of tens of millions of users will use and will be something that on a regular basis, as I'm playing the some games on a regular basis, someone else will play on something that I helped to build, right?
Got you.
um, I in 2016, something like that, 16, 17. It started earlier, but then when I officially launched the first ever gamified social network on chain,
Mm-hmm.
Kuende was the name. Still some things out there about it, but it was the first one in Europe. In US, it was Steemit. I think Steemit still is live. I haven't checked for a while.
Yeah, I haven't also like seen them for a minute, but yeah, I know they were like kind of super relevant at the time.
Yeah, yeah. And Quente was a blast, but some management, let's say, not disputes, but I was a visionary. Blockchain is the future, while they
Hmm.
were a bit Yeah, but maybe it's not, right?
Yeah, man,
So
it's all a Ponzi. You don't know what you're talking about. I know what you mean. Okay.
so it was what it was. It was a life-changing experience. I stood in that project for like 9 years. So I grew up with that project. I built that project. And in Funtico, I took a break for 1, 2 years after that project to kind of grasp everything that happened.
Hmm.
And in Funtico, I was from the inception days as a concept, right, with the founders and the backers and the great guys that had a big vision
Gotcha.
to change a bit the storytelling of a gaming platform on chain and in Web3, right? Because we all know the stories, some of them fulfilled, but most of them did not. But
Hmm.
in the space, usually you create a very nice story, you put a trailer, you raise money, and if you deliver good, if not, enjoy the token and the chart. But we wanted to do it differently because we had different backgrounds, different experiences,
Hmm.
and we wanted to build first the platform, the games, integrate them in a smooth way, and feel like this is a complete ecosystem that is not tailored or addressed only to DGens, only to Web3,
Hmm.
but it's for everyone that serves all the needs for someone that is familiar with Steam, right? To play any game on Steam, to someone that is, I don't know, now it's off the grid and all of that, right? So it's a place to be in between, but I always was on the gaming and gamification loops, and I'm obsessed with user experience, maybe
Hmm.
overly obsessed sometimes. And yeah, I'm trying my best to bridge all the products, the web platform that we have, the Telegram entertainment hub that we have, the games that we have, the social channels, so everything feels like a whole, not different narratives with different.
Got you. So yeah, basically, like what you told me right now, in terms of like stuff that you basically like get done on the front line of Fantico is, like yeah, like making all of that kind of like work, right, and like make sense together. But then it's also super interesting that you kind of like mentioned, how a lot of this, and maybe like this is a good segue for us, like at the rest of the conversation, how like a lot of those projects, remember back in 2021, like basically like rode that whole GameFi wave and like ended up creating like a lot of hype around it. But as you said, ended up like also not really delivering stuff that was promised, like I'm sure we still have tokens that raised back in
Yeah,
2021 that are still delaying TG, you know what I mean? And the reason they're doing that because, there's nothing that people can like, there's a website but there's nothing people can like really like play with or like do with or like even like have some sort of like basic experience, right? And it's a really interesting, like I guess like segue for me to like keep running the conversation with you with, like how you manage with all of that, kind of like scrutiny and specifically in the current, I guess, like market where, like everyone's like hyper focused on like, like basically like gambling on shit coins that have an ADHD and just like looking for the next play day in and day out. And how you're basically building something that's it's kind of like the complete opposite of that, and like actually like what like demands people to retain their attention and like keep exploring a platform that you're making so they can basically kind of like not have to, I guess, like ride any wave, like in terms of like whether it's gaming or metaverse or like AI or like whatever the meta is, right? I have a feeling, what we're trying to build here at Fantica and kind of like what you're basically like the visionary of is making something that's not that and something that can basically like reward users for long-term retention, right? Which a normal product should kind of like work like, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
in
That's
the normal world, but here we are in crypto. So
yeah. I
yeah.
think after the pandemic, it was a not a shift, but it was a shift, but actually it was a proof that even in bear markets, gaming will resist, right?
Mhm.
So it's irrelevant if not fully irrelevant, but not it will not if Bitcoin dropped 70% in gaming projects, their token didn't drop 70%
Yeah.
during that time, right? So that was a proof that someone that enjoys and can play competitive, but also can play for fun. Because we also gonna have multiplayer very soon. I
Hmm.
don't know if I should have mentioned that, but it just
Yeah,
slipped.
well, early alpha, that's fine.
So because of that, you can bring your friends. You can have private events, private tournaments with money, without money, with tokens, with not. So that show that if you have a product that people can use, no matter what are the financial situations outside your
Hmm.
screen, then that works. And we took that as an example, but still we wanted to, as you said, to have this stickiness, to not feel like, okay, I'm in this platform, another game I play, and what's next. The main challenge for me as a product guy was to make you feel like your time is worth something, because that for me was also important as a gamer,
Hmm.
right? Even in I will take the example of Dota, because that was, I play like too many tens of thousands of hours, so I
Gotcha.
have it in the back of my head.
Yeah.
But on Dota, it was not about making money. With
Hmm.
Web3, we have that opportunity to earn something, but it was about those small things, right? Because I played for a certain amount of time, I get that reward. I get compensated with this. I feel like my time worth something. In
Yeah.
Web3, it's totally different in a good way,
Hmm.
right? Because we made it as such that I think we have over 8 gamified loops.
Hmm.
So from simple things as daily bonuses, spinning the wheels after some consecutive daily bonuses, some types of loot packs, some types of capsules, some types of drops,
Hmm.
ranking system. So you always progress, you always unlock something. Something is connected to something else. It's already also always a sense of progression and reward, even though you haven't put any money yet to go to enjoy a tournament, for example.
Gotcha.
But you still,
Gotcha.
I wouldn't say grind, but you still
Hmm.
find your way to get a ticket to be able to go in that tournament and potentially win
Right. So
some.
you're basically saying like users are also rewarded for like kind of like passive engagement also, right? So like only if they're like
100%.
going through one of those 8 loops that you mentioned, that they're still going to be able to progress to the system and like unlock new stuff and like have more capability.
Yeah, this is not a pay to win.
Hmm.
It's a pay to play to compete, right?
Gotcha.
So there's no, you don't need if you have a certain NFT, it means you have an advantage. That it doesn't exist in our platform. It's fair chances for everyone. We have legal opinions for all of the games to not be gambling games and be fully gaming and
Hmm.
competitive games. So we do not encourage this advantage that if you made it last bull run and you're rich and now you buy all of our inventory of NFTs, you're the earner.
Yeah,
You're
you're
not.
going to be like the early mover or whatever. Got you. Yeah.
No, 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 no.
Got you. Awesome. Okay, so without maybe like even like yapping about it, if you don't mind, I would like you to kind of like maybe just like walk us through the platform as it is today and kind of like go through all of the functionalities, because even on previous shows that we had with Tal and Duran, we kind of like we went over some things, but in the meantime, it's been a while. I know there's a lot of new features that have been implemented, and even like new games that we can kind of like slowly start hinting at. So if you don't mind, I would
Okay.
just like us if you could walk us through, basically like, yeah, everything that you did with the product team as we see it today and are able to use it as well.
Okay, then let me open some things on Telegram because I also want to share something that is just on our development stage.
Oh yeah, we could showcase that too. Like even the like if you could like cast us the Telegram Joker game as well. I don't think
Yes,
the
yes.
YouTube crowd has seen this yet, so this could be exciting.
So let me see how to structure this because what I will show actually will be live, I would say somewhere next week. I don't know when this will be aired, but
Gotcha.
somewhere mid of December, it will be live. So very, very soon. But let's start first with the platform. Share screen, window, entire screen. Okay. Okay.
Awesome. Let me set that up for you. There we go.
All good?
Yep.
Okay, so how we structure this for even for those who know, even for the most active users, even for those that already won, someone won $50,000, right, in a tournament that we held a few months ago. A very cool dude, Blanco from Brazil. Very, very cool dude that remained engaged with us and with the platform, and he brought his friends. Very nice story. But we made the platform is structured in a way that what I like to call the platform is Batman, and all of the games that we actually build are Robin, right? That's how it
Okay.
works.
Fair
The
enough.
main character is the platform, the currency is Tico, which combines and interludes and unites all of the features of the platform, right? So on one
Gotcha.
side, we have
Basically
games.
powers the entire
We
ecosystem.
created exactly. Games are one. Then we're gonna have a marketplace. This is just a sneak peek. It's not live yet, of course, because the token is not live. But to understand the complexity of it, and it's important to mention that it's built in the platform. Is This was a challenge for me as a product guy to unify the inventory of all the games, right? Because you can have basically all the games that we have
Hmm.
and we will have in the future, plus the games that the partners will publish, and the ranking, not the ranking,
Okay.
sorry, the rarity system needs to
Hmm.
be the same, and that's a challenge. And we wanted to
Gotcha.
showcase that we kind of cracked that up as a sneak peek. So you have the games, you have the marketplace, then I was mentioning the gamified loops with some loot packs that have different use cases. You have some starter bags. This you will receive in the beginning to onboard you. If we launch a new feature or a new game, you receive another starter bag to kind of give you a kickstart in that world or that
Whoa.
feature. Give box, it's a given, but we use this for most engaged users, for regular users, for people that show interest on even on social media. That's why it's important to follow us, to be part of the campaigns, because you don't know when we can actually drop something on you.
Gotcha.
And then you have progress chests, which leads me to the ranking system that is also built in. Let me zoom out a bit. It's fine. Right? It's a ranking system with seven different ranks from Acolyte to Immortal. You start your journey as unranked, but in your journey, and this is subject to change before TGE, but in your journey, you will have 6 steps for us to introduce you new features. So you're gonna receive a loot box, you're gonna receive a capsule, you're gonna receive a ticket to a tournament. But in those 6 steps, we're gonna take you through the platform slowly, and then you're gonna have a rank, and then you're gonna start your progression through the platform. The way the
Gotcha.
progression
So
works,
basically, like the tutorial stage is already going to be kind of like your first novice rank or whatever, right?
yes, exactly,
Gotcha.
exactly. The way the progression system works is you have experience points, and you gain experience points on the platform, but also in the games, and also in the tournaments, and also in the marketplace. So the more actions you do that means something, you cannot spam, you cannot abuse it, the more points you get, right? And the points are basically accumulating in your all-time ranking system, but also we have the seasonal progress that it can last 2 weeks, it can last 1 month, it can be something like an event, and
Okay.
your points also gather here, right? So, but this resets every season. What else? We have full customizable features, right? For you to play with different collections of avatars. Some of them are static, some of them are animated. Basically, we brought the Web2 world from Discord and Steam and kind of put it in the same environment.
Hmm.
Uh, what else? What else? What else is cooking? On This is on tournaments, of course, because we are all about high incentivized gaming, and we made it as such that not only everything is live, as in if you're participating in a tournament, if you want to see the progress of a tournament, the leaderboard always instantly matches with what's actually in the game, because the game,
Gotcha.
of
So you have
course,
live feed. Okay.
yes, live feed. You can see publicly what are the rewards, who won it, how many tries each of them did, what are the points. But what I want to emphasize on is that basically we created a framework for tournaments that can, I would say, please any type of use case. What I mean by that, if you want to do a public tournament, you can. A private tournament gated by a code, you can. A custom tournament for a community only or for a KOL that works with us, you can. If you want to make it with unlimited tries or only with one try, you can. If you want to cap it to 100 players or unlimited, you can. So you have all of the possible combination for us, but also for our partners to utilize our platform. And this is where I'm excited about, to even bring their own rewards. So use our platform as a tournament structure in our games, but incentivize the participants in their own rewards. And for me,
Gotcha.
that's change life, not life changing, but scene changing, industry changing, right? Because we have the framework already built.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, one thing I would like to maybe like ask you a little bit more on, because kind of like you went in the direction, is, we said, we mentioned the Tico token, we mentioned the platform, we mentioned how basically, like Tico is kind of like crucial for the platform itself, by kind of like being the ecosystem token. But what about what you just mentioned now, which is kind of like this big, I guess, like this big value proposal that we're not necessarily being super vocal about, on our marketing channels on the Web3 side, but are kind of like heavily pushing on the business development side, where Funtico is, again, as we said, not only a platform for us and the Funtico community, but also for businesses and publishers, right? So could you kind of like tell us maybe a little bit more about that, and how like that kind of like, I guess, went
Yeah.
into the entire like product development process? Because you, as you mentioned already, with the different games that you would be need to able to integrate by different publishers, kind of like, well, what's the grand idea here behind Funtico as a service?
Yeah. So that's a great question from the perspective that on the surface it looks like we are a gaming company,
Gotcha.
but under the hood we are a lot more than gaming. Producing games and developing our own games, it's one arm. We have like an octopus. This is Fantico, an octopus behind the doors, because we wanted to showcase publicly, even before a token is live, that we can build games. We understand games. We
And
understand
have a
gaming platforms.
platform that works and you can connect to and do stuff on, which is,
Yes, before a token, before that story of a token. But we know that we don't want to just build ourselves in, because it takes time, it takes resources. You have to always be on the market, especially with a token. You cannot have delays. So on the service side, we are almost ready. When I say almost, we are like weeks uh, before that is finished, with what we have as a publisher as a service, which is through a public SDK. Because we want to have a statement that this is what we've done, and we can build anything from hyper casual to triple A's, and that's public. But we want to scale and bring more utility to the token by letting others connect. Not
gotcha.
connect just with the game, but connect on the legal part, on the financial part, on the share revenue part, you name it, on the tournaments part. But the token, the beauty of the token into that story is that we haven't designed the token models as you will see in most of the games, like three different model types that with three different tokens, and you have to have this in order to farm that, in order to stake to get that. And that works very nice for the first 5,000 players, early adopters. And then when there's no incentive for new players to come in, the model literally is destroyed because it cannot scale.
Got you.
So we said one token, limited supply, available in everything that you do. Is it a game, in-app purchase, marketplace, cross promotions, tournaments? Even in order for you to publish our game, if it will be a fee, you have to pay it in the tokens, right? So
Yeah.
there's so many demanding points for the token, and selling pressure is not that much actually, because you will see in the tokenomics how stiff, I would say, the selling, the lockup period and the vesting is for the
Hmm.
team. And you realize that the only potential selling pressure is if someone wins a big tournament and it will want to cash out everything.
Yeah, and it's even in
Fine.
the case if it was like a pool of Tico, right? Which is not always necessarily going to be the case anyway, right?
Sorry, say that again. If
So
it's
I say like like as you said, like maybe that's the case of the selling pressure. If like I guess like the tournament prize, was an actual pool of Tico tokens, but maybe sometimes that's not even the case. As with the example that we had with the Premier tournament, where instead of like having any sort of liquid tokens to give away, the prizes were formulated in an NFT format, which some of them were worth a lot of money, like the Pudgy Penguins one that Blanco won. So yeah.
yeah, 50K. Yeah. That's exactly on smaller tournaments, what we call rooms.
Hmm.
On that, but those are meant to be very fast engaging, right? It takes you 3 minutes, 5 minutes to put $1,
Got
$3
you. Get
worth of
in, get out.
Tico. Exactly, right?
Yeah,
But for bigger ones, you're right. There won't be a 50K pressure once every week because we have 50K tournaments. It
for
would
sure.
be in liquid NFTs. It will be in our NFTs sometimes, in partners NFTs, in different collections that we might want to onboard. So yeah, that's a strong case, and that's why I got excited to join initially, because I understood that is different. I respect. I will not name different companies. I respect what they've done, but I also know from a gamer perspective, understanding the economy of a game, those doesn't scale for the player, and
Gotcha.
sometimes they scale for the investor. But we cracked both of them, right? Because this is a token that has more demand than selling pressure is a given.
Hmm.
Some people might not be professional gamers. Some people might not have time to play. Some people might just want to enjoy watching others play, right? So there is a place for everyone. Some people might want to take a decision that they believe in what we do as a company, as a business, and for them it's an opportunity to support us by just holding on to that token. Because so we we don't force people to decide what to do with the token. We don't have staking. We don't have mechanics that are failed to dump. We don't, and we will never
Gotcha.
have that.
Awesome.
Right.
Now, once again, I have to thank you for running us through the platform, and I have to compliment you and the rest of the team for making everything also like feel so alive. You know what I mean? Like everything's dynamic. Like when you go through the platform, when you go through the different pages, like rarely you get like a static page where there's nothing like moving around. So yeah, like kudos to you guys for like basically like making the whole platform feel alive. But now, yeah, I also see that you're trying to like show us something even
Yes,
cooler, which
this
was a
is the next.
breakthrough in the taunt technology. So yeah, take it away, man.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, this is the next iteration of what we are doing. It will be live next week. Of course, on paper, everyone said we had a top to earn game, but we knew that's not the case. That was the low-hanging fruit for people to understand and easily adopt it.
Hmm.
But this will become a gaming hub. This will become like a app store, if you may, and we already introduced now the shop, which is another layer, but we're gonna have different things. And let me walk you through it fastly. Toy box basically is where we're gonna have our games, and in the future our partners' games,
Okay.
right? If they want to put Tico token into it, we're gonna start with a low hanging fruit, which is solitaire. that we also have the version in the platform for it, but this
Mhm.
is design, custom design, I would say, for Lucky Fanatic. But we will try our best in the roadmap that once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks to have a new game, a new game, a new game, a new game with different tournaments. Then you have the tournaments, everything you basically, the reason I left this open is that you can see that it's part of the same feeling. Look,
Mhm.
you will see tournament stats and check it out. What's here is here, right?
Yeah, this is so crazy that you guys managed to pull this off at a Telegram mini. Yeah, but yeah, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so it was a challenge, but I was obsessed of I want you to feel you're in Funtico. You're not in Telegram
Yeah,
Twitter.
like you're still in the same product, right?
Exactly, it is
Yeah.
the same product. So tournaments, this will be sorry, this will be with rankings in 2 weeks from now, I think, close to Christmas or something like that. But this is so if you have in the platform rankings, here you have different rankings, as
Okay.
in who was the most engaged player of the week, or who collected the most jokers, or who participated in the most tournaments. We
Hmm.
have like 8, 10 different KPIs that we're going to reward you. So you have chances of doing different things. You don't have to be the best, but if you're engaged and you even for fun casually played, you're going to have a chance in this
Yeah,
leaderboard.
and this is also right an opportunity for people, like maybe in some developing countries who don't necessarily like, like they have to choose between a computer and a phone. They can choose whatever and not have to worry about losing progress in the platform, right?
Yes, yes, and this brings me to the last point in a way that the main not idea vision of the Lucky Fanatic was to bridge platform and mobile, right?
Hmm.
Because the shop is the first iteration, but in by TGE, so somewhere in January, as you see, this was the first thing that we did. So you can earn some Tico even pre-TGE, right? It's not the other stories. Again, I don't want to mention names, but that
Okay, fair,
grinded
fair.
for 9 months and took $1.
Hmm.
And again, it's not about even the money. It's about the principle of
Yeah, rewarding engagement by users who spend their time in the product,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So
Gotcha.
you can already earn stuff. You can those are tickets to the $100,000 tournaments. You can earn them. It
Those are nice tickets to have. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And the next iteration will be that from the Lucky Fanatic, you're gonna send to your inventory in the platform, so to your backpack, because you see
Backpack,
here,
got you.
you
Okay.
have the tickets. So you need to send them here. But also from the platform, you will earn things that you need in Lucky Fanatic. And that
Hmm.
makes us unique from my perspective. But of course, I'm subject because not subject. I'm
Subjective, yeah. Subjective.
because I kind of try to design it. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, you're basically trying to like for users, as we said, for users to basically have the ability to be both on desktop and mobile, you incentivize them to go back and forth. And however, if it's not the case, they're still basically being rewarded for this time spent in one of the devices, right?
Yes.
Got you.
Yes.
Awesome. Cool. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to show us on the screen?
Would be, but I will keep you another hour if I go now in
Got you.
Figma
Yeah, we
and
can
what's
we can save it
cooking.
for
Yeah.
another show. I'm sure we'll be back here on a stream before the TG anywhere, maybe like shortly after it. Uh, but yeah, awesome. So again, thank you so much for showing us all the cool stuff that you and the rest of the product team has built. I'm saying like again, like it's super amazing that you guys have like made feel everything like so alive in terms of just the dynamic nature of the entire platform, as well as now as you showed us the cross functionality between the different devices and the ability to kind of like power up regardless of the device that you're using, which is super super cool. And again, I keep emphasizing it because I know it's going to be super interesting for demographics that are in those developing countries that do also like spend a lot of time on incentivized gaming and these type of activities. And yeah, already like see it being like a huge success amongst that demographic. So kudos for that as well.
Thank
Now,
you. I want to take a moment before you wrap it up because I think you want to wrap it up.
for
Because
sure.
I need to give like a shout out, right? Because I'm not
Okay.
alone in this. I have Rafa, my partner in crime, which we kind of did this uh, from early days in Funtico. So
Hmm.
everything from concept to notebooks became alive in years. The creative team that all the things that you saw moving, twitching, live, everything is done by our artists and creative team, which we are like a machine that wants to create stuff, and whenever someone uses it or gave us a feedback, that's for us it's enough. So I really want people to understand that for me, without them, whatever I showed would have remained maybe just in my head. So
Got you.
they
Yeah,
kind of made
and
that
feel free
possible.
to shout them out personally too. You already mentioned Rafa, so shout out to our boy. Like, yeah, we can mention Anastasia and like the rest of the
I
entire
would have
creative
to
team.
mention like 20, 30 names, but yeah, it's Anastasia, it's Olena, it's Elena, it's
Marcin, the rest
Anna,
of the
it's
guys, for
Valentin, it's
sure. Yeah,
Andre,
it's a
it's
big
I
team.
would go on forever. It's Marcin, it's the gang with videos, all the trailers you see, Bartosz, all of the guys. So we are an army of creative people, but they make it look so eye
Effortless.
candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, shouts out to the gang, shouts out to the rest of the team, not only the creative and product staff, but also the other guys helping us on many other fronts. So yeah, again, dude, it was an absolute pleasure. I don't know if you want to like add anything else before I like clock out the show. But yeah, it was an absolute pleasure. As I anticipated, my favorite guest so far, simply because of your dog nature. You know what I mean? Like you're really, I see it every day. You're kind of like one of the hardest workers in the entire project in the entire company. So yeah, man, shouts out to you for being such a stand-up guy and like coming onto the show with me and letting people kind of like see what your day-to-day looks like and what you've been like cooking up. So that's really a pleasure.
Thank you, buddy, very much. Thank you also for your efforts because you are with us in the trenches every
For
day.
sure.
And yeah, I don't know. As a bye bye message, I would. It's more than an alpha in a way because I know what I'm cooking.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I would recommend people to join. I know everyone says that, but I will also mention why I'm saying it. So you would want to be following us on Twitter because very soon we will start random tournaments. You won't know when it happens, but you will just be informed that in the next 2 hours is a $1,000 tournament. And the only way for you to participate is to know the code, and the code is on Twitter. Sorry.
Got
Same
you.
goes to Discord. We are working on some proprietary bots on Discord that, again, on a random basis, all of a sudden, oh, tournament live. So you have to be there in order to participate, because even if you see it, you won't have access to it.
Yeah,
So that's my
there's the saying
semi-alpha
that to be in
thing.
the right place at the right time, right? And that's all the time in the Funtico channels, basically.
Yes.
Got you. Awesome. All right, man. Again, thank you for your time. I know you have a busy day. I'm gonna let you get back to it. I'm also gonna shout out everybody watching. Keep in mind, guys, like this is a live stream now. We will be re-uploading clips out of all of this to YouTube. So make sure to check out Fantico on YouTube, on Twitter, on Discord, on Telegram. Join the announcements channel. Join the chat. Say what's up. Introduce yourself. And yeah, start getting active and download the Lucky Fanatic so you can start accruing points on the go
You don't
as
need to
well.
download it. You need to have Telegram. So just press
Yeah,
play.
sorry, just access it on the
Yeah.
Telegram mini app. My bad. That's on me. But yeah, guys, thank you, Pavel, one more time,
Thank
and
you, buddy.
see you guys on the next episode with our